To edit or add or remove artboards, you can do this inside Illustrator itself rather than at the very beginning. And the way to do that is to go to the artboard panel. And this is this icon here. Or if you're inside the layer panel, you can click on artboards, or you can go to window and choose artboards from the top. Now I have this one artboard to start out. And if I want to make another one, I can go to add artboard and it'll add one right next to it. I'm going to zoom out doing Control minus and holding down the hand tool and spacebar to move this around. And if I want to duplicate my object here, I can move it to this artboard. Let's change the color on this just really quickly. All right. And say I want to move this entire artboard. What I can do is, right, these are like maybe too close to each other. What I can do is go to the artboard tool, and that's on our toolbar at the bottom left-hand side. And this allows me to move my artboard over. Or I can move it over here, I can move it over here. It also allows you to resize it. It's not going to change the size of the artwork inside of it, but say, for example, you design something at 800 by 800 pixels and you're like, actually, I need it to be 1200. If you go to the transform window, which will be up here or the panel up top, you can do 1200 times 1200 and it will change the size of your artboard. That is also located at the very top, and you can see width and height. And so that works. And to get out of that, you just click out, or you go to a new tool and that'll take you out of the artboard editing tool. One other thing you can do is you can arrange your artboards to be a grid inside the artboard tool. So I'm gonna undo that real quick. Let's move these back closer together. If I have a bunch of artboards, so if I select both of these and I go to the hamburger menu here and duplicate artboards and duplicate artboards, notice that if I zoom out, they're all next to each other. So what I can do is come down here to this bottom tool, rearrange all artboards, and now I can see how many rows do I want. And so let's see, I have 6 here, so let's do 2 rows, and I'm gonna give it 100 pixels between each one, and I'm gonna move the artwork with each artboard. And now that has arranged it as a grid. So it can be easier to see. And remember, if you have things going off the edge, that's off that edge, that's off that edge. You can use trim mode to be able to see it without that artwork on the sides. So I can go to view and trim view, and now it'll cut those off. But it's important that you give yourself enough space around each one. So maybe 100 pixels was not enough. So I could do 300 pixels. And that gives us a little bit more room around it. When you are exporting, so if I do File, Export, and Export As, you'll have the options of using the artboards. And I would recommend clicking this so it actually trims around your artboard. And you can choose a range. So if you are looking here, you can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you may want to name yours so you know exactly what you're working on. But you can choose the specific range that you want. And then you would hit export and it would export only the last one or the first one or whatever you want. So these are the basics of working with artboards.